This one's got a twist. Carl Froch George Groves. It's a face-off. The gloves are off. Unfinished business.
The nation are going to get a great fight, a great spectacle. They're going to see me at my best, doing a job, the job I should have done the first time. I'll be absolutely shocked if stopping George Groves inside the distance doesn't happen.
When I hit him, I hurt him. I know that my feet are better. I know I can push him back. I know I can beat him up on the inside. I was a heavy underdog going in there, fighting on a rival promoter show. The first time he had any little bit of success, Carl Froch jumped in and stopped the fight way too early.
Well, I suppose this is the closest you two will be, maybe until May the 31st. Where did it all start? This atmosphere, this bad feeling, this tense, there's a vibe straight away, and I know there is. Where did it start? I'll throw it to you first, George.
Well, you want to label it as a bad vibe, and then it manifests into being something that I'm trying to create or trying to force home, and I'm trying to get under Carl Froch's skin, and I'm not. In the first fight, what bothered him and what got under his skin was that I wasn't speaking about him in a positive light. He said that, he still says that now. I'm not being funny, but you're preparing for a fight. What did he expect me to do? Like, apart from pull apart all the things that he does wrong. And he does do a lot of things wrong. And I'm fully entitled to say those things.
Carly did get on your skin.
In the first fight, he did get under my skin, yes.
We were all surprised at your reaction, how you couldn't handle what George was doing. George, was you surprised? Or had you seen something you'd not seen in training?
The very first press conference for our first fight, I think one of the first lines that Carl said was, "I'm an international superstar." It's as simple as that. That's a bold statement. That's that means a lot. And straight away to get on his high horse and say, well, do you know what? You struggled against Durrell or whatever I said. You didn't look so good against Boutte. You might have stopped him, but you didn't box well. And Andre Ward dominated you. And you scraped past Ken Johnson. And you're saying that I've never boxed anyone in the top 15. And, a year later, I beat him every round, drop him in the last round. So little things like this. I was painted with a bad brush from the start. People calling me disrespectful for not talking about it in a positive light, but there was nothing that I could possibly say that would live up to the pedestal he put himself on.
Carl, are you arrogant?
Not one of my best lines. International superstar, not one of my best moments.
Was that tongue-in-cheek, or
that was Lady Gaga
real?
I was talking about, not me. Of course it was tongue-in-cheek. But we were talking about boxing, and internationally, I'm quite well-known, So, the international superstar, obviously I'm not an international superstar, Johnny, you know that. It's one of them things, isn't it? You say stuff sometimes, you look back and you say, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But it's not like I take myself too seriously when I say it. It's nothing to get too wound up about or too involved in.
Yeah, but by calling yourself an international superstar and then saying I'm not giving you enough credit, well, then it leads you to believe that you do believe that by yourself.
The lack of credit's got nothing to do with me calling myself that. The lack of credit I'm talking about
I'm just saying you put yourself high up there on a pedestal.
No, but prior to that press conference, you talked down about me. And you talked
down about me. You said you'd beat me and James Gowan the same night.
Mm.
That's talking down about me, would you not say?
Yeah, but you're not an international superstar.
Right, Carl, you are. I get it wrong.
No, I'm not an international superstar. But what I'm saying is...
Well, I'm beneath you.
The world titles I've got and the fights I've been involved in, at the time, we're going back now to the old fight, prior to the old fight, which we've moved on from. But you've asked the question. I was upset by the fact that George Groves didn't give me any credit for what I'd done. It's happened. I got wound up. Let's not forget I still did the job. I still won the fight fair and square.
You didn't, Carl. You didn't win it fair and square. That's why you've been mandated, Carl.
George will argue.
That's why you've been mandated, because it wasn't fair and square.
That it wasn't fair and square, but I'm fighting him because I want to fight him again. I want to set the record straight. Genuinely, there's a lot of question marks surrounding the stoppage. It was very controversial.
You just said it was fair and square.
It was controversial. I agree with the stoppage. I think Howard Foster did a great job, but it was controversial. Can you digest that?
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Nigel Benn needed Chris Eubank for them to make them household names, to make their... Each time they fought, it was second to none. It looked like you guys, domestically, you know, on this side of the world, in fact, all over the world, you need each other. There's no bigger fight in your weight division.
That's a great point,
this.
and that's why this fight is happening. We do need each other.
Do you need him?
I don't need him. I'm 26 years old. I've got 10 years left. Like, this is you need opponents. Certainly, you need to be. It's good to have rivals. It's good. You can be the best fighter in the world. If you've got no one to fight, it makes no difference. But I certainly don't need Carl Froch.
80,000 people, Wembley Stadium. You don't need Carl Froch?
It's not my pension fund that we're fighting for. This is Carl's. Carl's earning an awful lot of money for this, and it's his last fight, and he's going to do well, and he can walk away from the sport, maybe feeling good, I don't know. But I've got an awful long career ahead of me, Johnny. I believe that. I think I'm going to be a world champion for a very long time. And there's other British fighters out there that I can fight. There's British fighters coming through. There's fighters on the world scene that I'd like to tackle. So I've got a long, successful career ahead of me, I like to think. Carl obviously doesn't.
Carl, is he right? Is this your last fight?
Potentially.
Is that a decision that's been discussed? That's been made potentially on the outcome?
I'm not talking about this as my last fight to anybody, but if you're going to say to me, is this your last fight? Of course, potentially, any fight can be like this. Could be George Groves' last fight. It just might be his last fight.
OK, the rematch is on. Last time, in the build-up to this, you said, last time I believed. Now I know. Explain it.
Well, I do. I know I'm faster than Carl Froch. I know that when I hit him, I hurt him. I know that my feet are better. I know that I can control him at range. I know I can push him back. I know I can beat him up on the inside. I know that I beat him in every aspect, Johnny.
It's true.
Well, he says, I know. Before you went in, what did you say, believing or knowing? You went in last time believing, this time you're going knowing. Is that right? I mean, the only thing you learned from the first fight, and the only thing you know is, you got beat. You got stopped in round 9.
I know the referee.
He went in thinking, believing, and this time he goes in knowing he can get done and stopped and beat up. Because that's what happened. He got bashed up. He got bashed up round 7, 8 and 9.
Are you faster than me? Are your hands faster than mine?
What we're talking speed, you can start measuring speed. You've got fast hands. When
I hit you, does it hurt? When I hit you, does it hurt?
You know what? You hit me with everything you had for 6 rounds after that round 1. And I've got to be honest, you didn't hurt me after that first round knockdown.
So you wasn't hurt
after that? After round 1 knockdown, you didn't hurt me.
What did you say at the end of the 6th round? Number 6. What did you say at the end of the 6th round? You sat down, it's on tape, go back and watch it. What did you say to your trainer?
I've heard this. I swore, for sake or something.
Why'd you say that?
Because I was annoyed that I finished the round poorly. I've done it before in the past, frustration. I went, I'm frustrated. I just chucked that round away by getting clumsy at the end. That's why I said that.
You lost that round because you got clumsy at the end of that round?
I had a bad finish to the end of a decent round. I thought I was doing
round
very
6
well.
Was decent?
I thought so.
Johnny, tell me to watch the fight back.
You finished the round very strong. I was frustrated because I let you beat me to the punch at the end of the round.
Watch the round back, Carl. You need to start watching the fight back.
You know what? You need to watch round 6 because you was physically exhausted. You slumped on your stool at the end of round 6. Round 6 is a significant turning point and very, very mentally bad for you because you were done at the end of 6.
I don't think so.
Who watched the first fight? How many times did you watch the first fight?
I've watched it enough times now. I watched it after the fight. Didn't watch it for a while. Watched it a few times since this fight's been made.
When you fought the first time, you predicted the shots you'd throw, how you'd throw them. You threw them. You did exactly what you said you'd do.
No, I didn't. Said it with 2 right hands. Hit me with 1. That's all it took. 1, 2.
And had him down. What's your prediction for this one?
I'll let you know fight week.
How many times have you watched it, Carl?
You know what? I've watched the whole fight through from start to finish once, and then I've scanned it a little bit. I've watched it twice. I don't watch my fights back that often.
Give him some credit. What would you, if you were a George Groves fan, what would you say he did good?
He caught me with a great shot in round 1, put me down. He was there. You saw it, and then he had some success throughout the fight for the next 6 rounds. He did fantastic. Used his hand speed that he goes on about. You know, he has got fast hands. He can punch a bit. He had me down in round 1.
See, Carl, the thing is, you kind of blacked out after that droppage because when you sat down at the end of the fight on the apron, you didn't even know you'd been knocked down.
No, I didn't.
And you said you've only. Well, you said, did I get knocked down? So
it's called tongue in cheek, George.
Is it? Well, it didn't seem like that at the time.
George,
but it was.
Give him some credit.
Give him some credit.
Tell me about the first fight. What if you were a Carl Froch fan? What did he do good?
He took a lot of shots. He took a lot of punches.
It's not good.
Credit is asked for, just a little bit.
Yeah,
of credit.
I'm thinking. He I wouldn't even say he likes to take a shot, because I don't think he likes to take a shot.
Nobody likes getting hit. Come on, the best chin in the business is the one that doesn't get hit.
Yeah, okay.
I can take a shot. I can take a punch.
Are you struggling to give him some credit for the first?
It's not that I don't want to. I'm trying to think of something that I think he did well. He
How about climbing off the canvas in round one, taking
credit
some
for getting
serious
up.
licks after that, and then forcing the stoppage?
But
how
I'm
about
not
just
giving credit for
acknowledging
forcing the stoppage, because he didn't force the stoppage.
Would you not give him credit for the pressure he put on in that 9th round? After such a clumsy, bad start?
Sure. You give him credit that in a fight, he had a tiny bit of success, in the 9th round, after no success in the first 9 rounds. So,
do you think you could have climbed off the canvas in round 1 and come back and fought back and taken all that punishment? Do you think
you're
you could
talking about what ifs again?
Well, I'm hypothetically speaking.
We'll never know, will we? Because I didn't get dropped in the first
play.
round. If I was hurt, I've been put
So
down.
I'm
I've got up
just
before.
trying to say,
I've been
Johnny's
put down.
asking
I've got up
you
before
to
and stopped the
credit.
guy. So I wouldn't worry too much about what I'm going to do, Carl. Worry about yourself.
I'm not worried about anything. Would you like to shake my hand?
I'd love to shake your hand.
Do you think we're talking about you?
I don't know. I'm not there, am I?
Don't flatter yourself. What are you doing?
Does it surprise you, George, that he has a psychologist to do with you, a sports psychologist?
Not so much that it surprised me. He's trains with the Olympic squad. They obviously use these guys and that, and he needs it. He certainly needs it. I don't think
for you, or do you think?
Well, if he needs it for himself, it's a bit late in the game, isn't it? Like at this stage of his career, to deal with his own.
To speak to somebody about psychology. Never too late. For any kids watching, or anybody out there in different sports, and many top professional sportsmen from different sports, see a psychologist. It's about ticking a box. It's about professionalism and preparation. And me speaking to Chris Marshall, the psychologist, it gives me a little bit of structure, and I find it's beneficial. It's not for anybody and everybody, but if you want his number, I'll give it to you at the end of the day.
I don't need it. I'm not for 1 second speaking illy of sports psychology. I think it's a great thing. A lot of fighters suffer with depression. A lot of sports people do. Sometimes they need to talk about their problems. They need to talk about their anxieties and their issues. I'm just saying, in this instance,
you think you're his problem?
Yeah, exactly. He said he's had such a stellar career. He's boxed all these big names, no problem. And yet, when he comes up against little old me, who's insignificant, haven't achieved nothing, and yet he seems to fall to pieces. And he has to see someone to talk about it. With the issues with me, doesn't really make much sense, Carl. If the issue must be with you.
Fall to pieces. Can you define that?
Well, maybe I'm being over the top, but there must be some issue there that he says he can't perform properly because of me, because he can't get up for training me. He can't.
You're talking about the first fight. You're getting yourself all confused here and wrapped up.
I'm not confused at all.
You're mumbling, stuttering. You're a bit like.
Who's more obsessed with who out of you guys? You went to the States. You'd love to make sure you got yourself in a position to fight.
He's having private sessions with someone talking about me. I don't do that.
Do you think we're talking about you?
So you're talking about yourself?
I'm seeing a psychologist, sports psychologist. Do you think we sit there and talk about you?
I don't know. I'm not there, am I?
Don't flatter yourself.
I'm not trying to flatter myself, but seeing as he's had a stellar career, performed at such a high level for year after year, and then it comes to me...
I think I've had a good career. I've got, I'm a four-time world champion. I've had a decent career.
He can't perform. Well, then I thought it might have something to do with me. Or is it your issue? Is it your issue then?
I don't actually understand what you're saying. You're going on and on and on, and none of it's making much sense. Is there a question there? I'm happy to answer your question if you've got a question.
OK. You're seeing a sports psychologist for yourself,
and
yeah?
What am I saying?
A sports psychologist
Easy
for yourself.
Easy for you to say. Yeah, go on. That's why we speak to psychologists.
Why?
For ourselves.
OK.
Not for anybody else.
And will it help you in this fight?
Will it? It already has helped me.
Has it? We haven't fought
Massively.
yet, so how do you know?
Because the fight isn't just fight night. The fight is preparation. Preparation is key.
And your prep's going well,
and
yeah?
This ticks a box. My preparation's going unbelievably
You're training hard,
well.
yeah?
You feeling all right?
You're on weight, yeah?
Are you feeling all right?
I'm feeling fine.
On my own weight, is my training going well? And
You're
you've
training
got
hard,
this stern look and you're pumped up.
What are you doing different in preparation? What are you doing different in preparation, Carl?
Quite a lot of things physically. I'm seeing a sports psychologist as well. Did you know?
Does it bother you that this man's got everything he wanted? Fight in London, at Wembley, on his own doorstep. He's got to fight you. He lobbied and chased and goaded and got everything he wanted. Everything for a reason.
No. It doesn't.
Do you understand this everything for a reason line, that George?
Everything for a reason is so ambiguous and open-ended, and it can mean anything. Everything for a reason. What does that mean? Don't ask me to explain it. It means a lot of things. It can mean anything you want it to mean, can't it? Yeah, go on, explain it.
Don't need to explain it.
Johnny wants to know. Tell him. You keep saying it.
I'll explain it after I
explain it. Explain it now.
I don't need to.
Why not?
I don't need to do what you tell me to do.
Treat the fans. Hashtag everything for a reason. Let us know what it is. We're dying to know. No.
George?
George?
Things have got to be calculated. Things are said and done for a reason.
You buy my line now, Johnny.
Yeah.
If you buy my line, you can explain it. I don't need to sit here and be told what to do.
So there's no meaning behind you keep doing everything?
No, there is, mate. There is, my friend.
Oh, okay.
There is. There is.
Okay. So.
We'll keep that.
But you're keeping it under wraps, yeah?
Yeah.
Keeping that one up his sleeve.
OK. How are you going to handle the press conference so close to the fight? Because it's tense now.
When have I not handled a press conference? When have I not handled a press conference? When have I not lashed out, thrown a dummy out of the pram or said something a bit stupid?
When have you not done that?
Yeah.
Did you mean to say that? Because that means you always do it. Did you mean to say, when have you done it? Not when have I not done it. I don't understand your question.
You don't understand the question.
No, I don't. You didn't make
When
any
have
sense.
when have I ever not held it together at a press conference?
There you go.
Sorry, did I not
Cole,
answer that correctly?
you shook your head when he predicted all the things he said he was going to do. Now, has he got your attention? So when he says, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, are you going to believe him?
I've said that, yeah, of course.
Your trainer said this is going to be a Hagler Hearns. 3 rounds. Is this just him blowing smoke, or
It
is it a
can be.
smoke
If I
screen?
want it to be, it can be. I know that I can beat him for hand speed, foot speed, and I can hurt him. If I come out and just start letting my hands go, I'm going to knock him out.
But you know this man gets strong towards the back end of a fight. Is it a risk?
Does he? If he starts slow, he usually comes on with a bit of energy at the end. If he starts quick, he fades in the end. So he's not a 12-round fighter like he likes to dine out on.
I like to dine out on being a 12-round fighter. Do you know how many times I've gone 12 rounds with top-level opposition?
Okay, cool. What does that
I am a 12-round season fighter. I wish it was 15 rounds, back to the old school.
Doesn't matter.
You
So
can't
I'll
walk
knock
that
him out in
plank,
3 rounds if I want.
You can't walk that plank. You're not
Really?
a 12-round fighter.
Really?
Really?
I've been 12 rounds before.
Really?
I've been 12 rounds before. And I
Oh,
was in
World
much fitter
Championship
condition than
pace.
you was when the fight got stopped.
You couldn't handle the
I was
pace.
in much better condition than you was when the fight
Couldn't
got stopped.
handle
You
the
was out on your
intensity.
feet.
Heat of the battle.
Carl,
went,
you've never been
you
a
was
quick
gone.
starter.
You
You've never
was
been
gone.
a quick starter.
No, you was gone and you went.
No,
I was
no.
still there.
No.
I was getting
That
strong.
was your last ditch
Rhymes was gone.
attempt. It was your
Strong.
last ditch attempt in a fight you had no control
I just
over.
started going to work. Trust me.
So you waited till the 9th round to go to work?
I had no choice. You had a fantastic start. I had no choice.
Oh, you're contradicting.
If he brings
I'm
this,
contradicting myself.
if he brings this,
I had a terrible start. I had 6 rounds.
And
It
you
was
had
hard.
a bad 7th round,
It was
a
hard.
bad 8th round,
And I
started
finished-
the 9th
Finished
round
strong. Bashed you up. Got the
Cole,
job done.
if he brings
Fact.
this 3-round rush on, this Hagler Hearns rush onto you, how do you handle that? You're not a fast
Box and move, sharp jab, good defence, good movement.
How are you going to do that? You can't evade my shots.
You're in for an easy night's work then, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Well, there you go then.
Are you surprised at how Carl is acting now to how he was acting the first time you two fought?
Not at all. I'm not trying to antagonise him. We're sitting here having a chat. I can see the telltale signs that I need to see. Whether everyone else sees it, whether they
What
don't,
are
whether people think I'm
What are they?
behaving in a particular way. I'll go away and I'll talk to about my trainer with it.
Oh, come on, tell Johnny. You didn't tell him everything for a reason. Tell him what the telltale signs are. We're here for this reason. People are viewing this, they're watching it. Just give us a little bit.
No, Carl.
Because you
We'll
haven't got,
do what you tell me
haven't
to
got
do.
anything. Empty vessels.
This is a battle for you to hold it together. That's what I know. It's a battle. It's like a fight. And
Do
you
you believe
give
that?
away so many telltale
What do
signs.
you mean? What, hold it together like now?
Yeah, like now. Like it's
You know,
all
like
painted
if we
all
was
over your
wired
face.
up to a heart rate
all
monitor,
over your face.
I'm probably ticking over at about 40 at the minute. I'm very fit at the minute, very, very fit. My heart rate's so low. I mean, I'm so calm and cool and collected. It's not an act.
Yeah, I'm sure you've practiced.
You look
it,
quite
Carl.
glassy-eyed and a bit worried and a bit
You
tense.
said this last time.
You're all tensed up on
as
your
you ran.
chair.
Sitting
And
on the
Johnny's
chair.
asking you questions you can't answer. I don't know why you just don't relax and just enjoy the whole thing and just be honest. And have a nice chat between the three of us, like men. And just tell the truth.
I am telling the
You
truth.
can't do
You're
it.
starting to use my words now.
Can't do it.
You lie constantly, Carl.
What
is
do I
he
do?
lying about?
Constantly lie, yeah. Go on, explain yourself.
What is he lying about?
Yeah, cool.
What?
He's asked you a question.
I know he is.
You're going to answer it. Thought not. Johnny's just asked you a question. It's rude to ignore him.
What counts is May the 31st. That's what we're looking at. That's what this is all aiming at. This is where this road ends.
Correct. Correct.
You came in supremely confident from the off. Did you know, or did you have an indication when you two sparred, when he employed you as his sparring partner?
He didn't
You thought-
employ me as a sparring partner. He didn't pay me. I came up to do some
Sorry.
sparring.
Would you like me to write you out a cheque?
No, thank you.
Right, okay.
Just wanted to confirm that. Employed sparring partners are paid, Johnny, you know.
No, not necessarily, no. You can use the employee in a different context, but go on, carry on.
So what did you take from that? Did you know what, in a few years' time, I've got his number?
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. And we sparred more than the one occasion where, the infamous where he dropped me, and that was what he was basing his whole, preparation for the first fight on. That's why he believed that I was just a non-starter.
There was an element to that, yeah. I did think I dropped him in sparring. And
Yeah, but do you not remember 2 days later when I came back to your hometown Nottingham to school you? Do you not remember that? You sat on the chair.
I can remember you coming back to Nottingham, but what did you do? Come back to my hometown and school me, did you?
Yeah, I did, in your amateur gym.
Okay, brilliant.
I did.
Well done. Is that what you believe?
I know it.
I'm putting that in the same box as me crying on ringside the first time round. The ludicrous, ridiculously deluded box,
Okay,
which is the world you tend to live in.
cool.
You came back and schooled me in my gym. It's a ridiculous statement to make, George. Come on, even by your standards.
You think you two are on the same level?
I think I'm better than Carl Froch. I think I beat the best Carl Froch there ever would be 7 days of the week.
Let me tell you the truth. You lost to the worst Carl Froch. That was one of my career worst performances. And you lost to me. I'm only talking the facts. Truth's sometimes hard to get your head around, but that's the truth.
Okay, sentence. Simple sentence. May the 31st. What happens?
I
One
win.
simple sentence.
I win the fight. I win the fight inside the distance. It's as simple as that. I will beat George Groves inside 12 rounds, without question, no problem. I am 100% convinced. I'll be absolutely shocked if anything other than me stopping George Groves inside the distance doesn't happen.
George?
I will knock Carl Froch out on May 31st, and I'll tell you which punch I'm going to do it with on fight week.
Let me guess, it's going to be a left or a right.
Boys, finally, we got a shake of her hands on ringside. This has been a little tense. Do we get a shake of his hands here?
Would you like to shake my hand?
I'd love to shake your hand.
You'd love to. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, pleasure to you too, mate.
What are you doing? We can all pull about a little bit. Do you want to pull about? Have a little pull and a push.
Enjoy Sky